I've been talking about this a lot lately, the Bitcoin bull market doors. This is a Bitcoin chart. In this video, I want to talk about the bull market doors for ADA. What does it look like? What could we possibly use in terms of the ADA chart, in terms of the bull market doors, and what indicators are really coming together to suggest ADA, Cardano, is getting ready to do something equally as impressive and special as Bitcoin and really the rest of the crypto market. I'm going to dissect that in today's video. We're also going to dive into the shorter term, the daily chart, even the 4-hour chart. We're going to talk about the path to $1 and above and why it's so important when we're looking at something like the weekly chart over here. Let's start on the weekly. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. This is ADA on the weekly. I really want to talk about momentum as we start this video because I saw this post. I've been getting, I don't know if it's X algorithms suggesting a lot of Jupiter over here on X, but I saw his post earlier. He was talking about the Stoch RSI as basically a formula that he has in terms of the bull market kind of starting, the beginning of each bull market, right? So he had this indicator alert on. It looks like it went off for him. And what I want to discuss is that Stoch RSI amongst other indicators. So the Stoch RSI is a quicker moving momentum oscillator. You see it here. This is what it looks like. And that's why you see kind of, it's very, even on the weekly, up and down, pretty quick. And we get a lot of touches to oversold areas on the Stoch RSI as well as the overbought areas. And if you compare it to something like a slower moving momentum oscillator, the RSI, just look at the difference. The RSI is smoother. It's just takes slower to get into oversold and overbought. I think I like the RSI better. I think it's more reliable, especially as we're trying to identify cycle shifts, right? Bull market highs, bear market lows. It does an excellent job. It's not perfect, but it does such a good job. But in relation to the Stoch RSI, there are some clues here, especially when we bring into play other indicators. And that's what I want to discuss. Let's first note something. Right here is overbought and then momentum to the upside, overbought, momentum to the upside, overbought, momentum to the upside. Every time this happens almost, there's a move for ADA price, right? So it's notable that we're basically hitting overbought there. You can see a little bit of an uptrend potentially getting ready to happen on this weekly Stoch RSI, but just look at it. I kind of put arrows every time it did it. So notice even in a bear market, we get this move on the Stoch RSI. So these arrows are kind of suggesting or illustrating on the price chart when that RSI kind of made a move to the upside. So there it is. ADA price, nice move to the upside. What do we get? Other indicators acting as resistance. This is bear market resistance, a 20-week moving average. So move to resistance, falling lower. Here's another one. The RSI popping out of oversold, move to resistance, even lower. Here we are again. Now we're starting to do the bottoming out formation of the bear market. So these pops to the upside are important, but you can just see we're testing the 20, we're falling below the 20, and you can see the RSI again trying to test and make a move to the upside. So you get the general sense of it. But now let's look at the last time the Stoch RSI hit in a bull market, or I should say even the beginning of a bull market, right? So we have one here. You can see Stoch RSI, but that's towards the end of the bull market. But all the way back here, if you see on the screen, and this was November 2020, the Stoch RSI lifting off right here. November 2020. And by the way, that is when the Bitcoin bull market doors hit, November 2020. ADA also took off. Now let's notice something. And this is where I think timing of cycles is important. This is where other indicators are important. So we're very much at this point comparing this current move, and I'm not sure if we're going to get the exact pop to the upside just yet on the Stoch RSI. We can hope that we're getting that momentum shift right now and this starts cruising to the upside into halving. That would be amazing. And let's say it is. Let's say that's what's about to happen, and we can compare it to this move. Because remember, in these ADA technical analysis videos, what we've been doing is we've been very much saying this move back post-halving, all the way back here into the Shelley hard fork, from a technical analysis perspective, is very similar to this move. So that is to say, even when ADA consolidated back down and was consolidating between the 20 and the 50, the Stoch RSI move that happened right here is very similar to the Stoch RSI move that is happening here. Now, one thing that is very obvious is This time around, it's happening before the Bitcoin halving. Last time around, it happened after the Bitcoin halving. So the Stoch RSI signal that is potentially getting ready to make that move out of oversold right here to the upside is very similar to the move back here in terms of a technical analysis perspective and from a timing perspective, because guess what? What do we say? ADA triggered this move, the Stoch RSI move to the upside, at the same time in the last cycle, if I go to a Bitcoin chart, that Bitcoin was breaking the bull market doors. So October, November 2020, boom. That is when that was happening. Now, what's happening right now in Bitcoin? Same exact thing. Bitcoin's entering these bull market doors. Hasn't broken above the doors yet. That is a huge indicator that I'm waiting for. But while this is happening, once again, almost 4 years later on the weekly chart, we're getting the Stoch RSI move. Now we start bringing into play other indicators. And this is where things become powerful, because it's the confluence of indicators and things happening at the same time, multiple things happening at the same time, where I think we get even more bullish confirmation. So one thing I've even talked about recently is, similarities from a price perspective in terms of this move back in July 2020 and consolidation down to the move we're getting here, but also similar moves in terms of the momentum oscillator, the slower moving momentum oscillator, RSI into overbought, right at that Shelley hard fork move, swing high, and then it just consolidated back down. And what have we just done? We hit overbought on the RSI. First time since the bull market high, this has happened. And the same is true for when it happened then. And we've just consolidated back down. Now notice, not as low on the RSI's last cycle, but consolidating back down. One thing before we zoom in on the ADA charts, I do want to point out, notice how long ADA consolidated. This is weeks. It's a little bit of upward momentum, but kind of sideways. And you can just see on the RSI, the illustration of what that looks like. Kind of sideways here for weeks. What is going to happen right now in terms of ADA on this RSI? ADA, I can't say this enough, sometimes just makes us wait a little bit before it gets this power move out of nowhere. During that waiting period, I would say anticipate the critics coming out and being like, you know what, ADA's done. This is what happens. This is what I've seen for years. This is what has happened. But ADA, I truly think, will come out of nowhere and it will just explode. This is what I've seen historically happen with ADA. And there's other altcoins that do very similar things. Now, one thing that I do want to point out to you, the bull market doors, right? So look at the move, first off. Swing high, consolidation, and then boom, right as Bitcoin's making a break through those bull market doors. So swing high, consolidation, we're waiting for ADA to break this previous swing high. Very similar to what happened back here. I'm using this LuxAlgo indicator. I haven't mentioned it in like a few weeks now, but it's the break of structure that occurred right here when this happened. The break of structure indicator in their price action concepts tool. And it was right after a change of character. And I shouldn't say right after. This is a weekly chart, but change of character right here. Boom. Swing high, consolidation, break of structure. So again, change of character here, the bottoming of the bear market, swing high. We haven't had the break of structure move just yet. And that's what I'm waiting for. The break of structure indicator going off while ADA, if it can happen, breaks through this entire area, right? Just look at this. This kind of order book level resistance that is sitting right here, ADA, for weeks, right? And almost really months, actually. December 4th, resistance all in this area. If ADA can make an explosive move to the upside, look at the next area of resistance in regards to that indicator. All the way back up here, $1.20 to around $1.10. So I really think when ADA makes the explosive move, it is on its way to that area. And we have targets up to that area. So let's start zooming out and talking about this. This is ADA on the daily. We have this falling wedge. One target to note, 72 cents. We had the 20-day moving average crossing below the 50, and now we have that upward momentum, potentially the 20 getting ready to cross back above the 50 to the upside. It's exactly what we want to see. We go over to Bitcoin chart. What just happened on the Bitcoin daily chart? That's what just happened. The 20 crossing back above the 50. So Bitcoin acting so far as a leading indicator, not just to ADA, but to altcoins. This entire move acting as a leading indicator to altcoins. So the same is true on the daily chart for ADA. If we get the 20-day finally crossing above the 50, we might have this explosive move for ADA to hit its target, 72 cents. Shorter term target, we have 65 cents in play that we've been discussing. Kind of a very similar setup to other altcoins like Solana and AVAX, hitting this previous area where we kind of saw this previous swing high, 65 cents. So notice 65 cents on this chart. On that daily chart, we had around a 72 cent. And right now I'm on a 4-hour chart, by the way, but a couple targets up to the upside for ADA right now. This general range, 65 to 72 cents. What happens if ADA makes the run there? Are we getting a pullback back into this kind of consolidation, this ascending triangle type of setup? I'm very curious to see. And this is all speculative because I have no idea how this is going to play out. But you know me in terms of speculating patterns. I love doing that. And I enjoy even more so when it actually plays out. But let's say we get this move, 65, 70 cents, and then we're actually, crypto's consolidating. Oh no, it's all over. The run is over. But then on the macro, it's like, no, it's not over. And then it's like we're in March and it's breaking out again. And then we have, again, a true, I would say this time, a true ascending triangle to the upside, a $1.20 target. And this could be what kickstarts the beginning of the parabolic bull for ADA. And this is why I talk about the Bitcoin bull market doors as this indicator. It's not to say, hey, you know what? It's when the bull market is starting. No, the Bitcoin bull market doors for me, if I zoom out on a chart, this isn't when the bull market is like starting out. It doesn't have to be defined that way. This is when the parabolic phase of the bull market starts. When altcoin season, when we start getting hints of altcoin season, because that's the thing. Altcoin season, many people think we're there now. It has not even happened yet. We're not in this phase. It has been nice. The exit of the bear market. And it always is. Every cycle is nice. But I'm just saying, I don't think people realize what is getting ready to happen. And for me, it's the bull market doors being broken that signals it. That says, okay, now buckle up. People might say, you know what, look at that Bitcoin chart. It should have buckled up back here. And yeah, it's true. It should have been ready back at 20,000. Absolutely. But when Bitcoin breaks this area, and when altcoins start moving and approaching their all-time highs, we start looking at ADA chart, it's buckle up. And we're not even at Bitcoin halving yet. So these are all the things I'm watching with ADA right now. I thought it would be cool to talk a little bit of momentum, a little bit of, ADA indicators coming together to really give us a signal, a bullish signal, and try and get a snapshot, a picture of what it looks like on the more zoomed in chart. So all the while, everybody, there's downside in play. There always is. I didn't talk about it really at all in this video. I would just say, just to throw it out there, because I haven't at all. If there's any consolidation in crypto on the short term, I'd be watching the 50-day moving average at 53 cents, the 20-day moving average at 51 cents, and even this kind of upper trend line here that we have in play. It's around 49, 50 cents. So that general area to the downside, if ADA can just see support there, that would be a good thing. But again, this video is more in terms of Bitcoin, the indicator going off, not going off, I should say, but what's potentially getting ready to happen. Bitcoin approaching the upper end of the Bitcoin bull market doors. That hasn't happened yet. But if that were to be the case, that next move for ADA. But remember, even last cycle at this time, ADA was sideways for quite some time. So if it's going to consolidate in a range down here, just be prepared for it. The 20-week moving average is down here at 45 cents, and even the 50-week down here at 37. I'm not saying we're hitting that area, but just know these moving averages in the range, that's where it is, because that's where ADA consolidated last time. So those are my thoughts, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope you're having a good week. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's see what ADA does overnight, even in the short term. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.